I joined the Neemrana Music Foundation in 2002. We had the Fakir of Banaras opera, and I was a part of the chorus. So that's how I started with the Neemrana Music Foundation. I've always been singing in different choirs, and then this came up as a challenge because it was singing in a different language, and we're doing acting as well. I've always been interested in performing arts, and so I had to think of now putting French and then acting and singing everything all at once. So this was the challenge that I took on. I like challenges, so I took it on and I said, okay, we'll try this out and do it. So that's how it began. Ever since then, I've been part of a number of different operas. We've had a lot of concerts in Delhi and Bombay, and I've been part of most of the events that have taken place and productions that have been put up. Teaching children music is something that is a challenge in itself. So when Mr. Wagziag and I met to talk about the blind children at the blind school, he was first inspired by the idea of this Chinese women's orchestra which was performing in Shanghai. He had watched them, they were blind, and he came back to India and he said, let's try something like this. And so we approached the Blind Relief Association and asked them if they were interested, and that's how we started with the choir in 2010. With the blind children, what you have to do is you have to think on a completely different level. You have to get inside their heads and imagine what their state is. Most of these children have been born blind, so they have no idea, no concept of what a day with sight looks like and feels like. So I had to really think out of the box here for ideas and how to explain things to them and teach them. I've taught myself music braille. I taught myself first braille, regular braille, because how I teach them is the words are transcribed to braille, and then they read off the sheet, and after that we do the words in repetition, and after that we start putting it to music. So and since the idea is holistic education where you're doing music theory as well as singing in parts and in harmony and in chorus, I hunted on the internet for something that had to do with music theory for the blind, and I found a website which had this complete textbook about teaching music braille and how music braille is. So I taught myself what music braille is and how to teach them, and so that's how now the children have started learning how to read music. So they don't just sing by memory or just by listening. They can also read the music, and they know different terms and from Western music. So with the blind children, you always have to keep improvising. The children, we've got two groups of children. One is from the Blind Relief Association and one is from the Khushi NGO. Both are underprivileged, and both groups do not have any access to Western classical music in its pure form. So what we have always done is whenever there is a production being put up by, especially with the Neemrana Music Foundation, I usually make sure that they attend a rehearsal, a complete rehearsal or a dress rehearsal, so that they are made aware of what music then this kind of Western classical music is and what it sounds like and how they should sing, how they should perform. All this I am whispering into their ears as they're watching the stage performance. Underprivileged children, it's the same thing. I mean, they can see, so they will be watching the performance. They'll understand what's happening. They know where the conductor sits, where the orchestra sits, everything. With the blind children, I have to keep telling them, okay, this is the conductor's in the middle, and then there are stage movements, and I keep telling them, I mean, we have to keep taking them to different concerts. We've also taken them to a BBC concert where it was complete orchestra and performance with a violin soloist. So there they got to listen to a different kind. They just listen to orchestral music without any singing. At the other concerts, they listen to music with choir or music with soloists. So that way they begin to understand and comprehend what I expect of them and what is expected of them when they are going to perform. This workshop has been very insightful because with Nitya coming, she has brought her training and her whatever her techniques and training are, and she has put that. I mean, it's always good to have inputs from different people, especially people who know music and can translate that in a way. So there are different things that the children also have learned on how to bring out their voices and how to control their voices, where they need to improve, where they're already doing well. So in that way, this workshop has been very good for them.